I know you have, and we've had scholars on the show who have clearly condemned acts like 9/11, pajama bomber, G-string bomber, whatever kind of bomber, shoe bomber you invented. Islam says clearly, don't kill women, don't kill children, don't kill the old people. Is clear about that. Now, you'll still have people say, you know, I know what Islam is about, okay? Islam is about, you know, terrorizing people, oppressing women. So how would you, I just stated that this is clearly against the teachings of Islam. And we've had some of the, if people can go through our shows, clearly we've had people who've condemned these acts. How do you, when someone comes and says, no, 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 you got the beard now, you know, and you're the guy, that's those guys, you know, that's the guys trying to kill us. They're coming with the Sharia, the boogeyman's coming, you're trying to take my freedom away. What do you got to say to them?
Well, realistically, we just tell them the truth. Because rather than, you know, talking about each and every one of these acts, Muslims always have to come out and condemn this act, condemn that. The easier thing is to, like I said, tell people what Islam is really about and what Islam is not about. Then that puts a blanket, you know, statement over all of these things. So if anything comes into this not that, then it's not Islam. For instance, we know that Islam is a way of life that means submitting oneself to your Creator each and every single day in obedience to Him in order to obtain peace in my life, and in order to obtain peace in the next life. This is the meaning of Islam itself. And a Muslim only means someone who does Islam. Someone who does Islam. Someone who submits themselves to their Creator in a very obedient fashion in order to obtain peace. Now, to say that I'm going to submit myself to my Creator in order to obtain peace through violence and through killing innocents and doing things which God Himself has forbidden is very illogical. Even for me to say that is illogical. I have made statements that take me out of the fold of Islam. And all of these things we see coming out like, you know, you should be afraid of the Sharia, which we see being very much put forward in the media. You should be afraid of the Sharia law and the Quran and all of these things. When we tell the world what these things are really about, then the information is there for them to take. That this is the boundaries of Islam. These, and even in the Quran it says very clearly that God has laid out boundaries. He has laid out boundaries. These are considered His boundary points. Do not transgress beyond them, for if you do, you will be a rebellious sinner. So we have to let people know, not only give this information to Muslims who may be unaware, but tell non-Muslims who may be unaware. These are the boundaries of Islam. If anything is outside of this, it's not Islam. And most of the things they are being put forward that are supposedly done by Muslims or supposedly done in the name of Islam, you will find are outside of those boundaries. So they are not within the religion of Islam. So we don't really need to go on about every single shoe bomber, whatever bomber, this, that, and the other, because we can just say, look, we've given you a clear description of what Islam is and what Islam is not. You can see very clearly this is on the outside, or you can see this is on the inside. So the information can be readily available to the public.
A statement that we've heard some people such as Glenn Beck and O'Reilly and all these other people, they say Muslims killed us on 9/11. This is a blanket statement. And they'll say also, and we know a Muslim is simply one. Jesus was a Muslim. Abraham, Moses, Noah, John the Baptist, Isaac, Ishmael, they were all Muslims. Someone says, how's that? Because they all submitted to the one God. They did Islam. Islam means to submit, to get peace by submitting to that Creator who created all that exists. They'll say, you know what, okay, you know, and you'll hear this a lot. So I'm going to put it on you right now because we're asking those tough questions. All Muslims, they're not terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims. How would you answer that?
That's a very unfortunate statement because it is very contradictory to fact. And this is the real way to sift through this information, is let the, you know, as they say, put out the facts and let the cards fall where they may. You know, and unfortunately this ideology is very much tented to distract people from the real message of Islam, to keep us continually on the defensive, you know, so that the real message of Islam does not get conveyed. So the way we can, you know, take care of both of these issues is by telling the real message of Islam in order to dispel these myths and misinformations. To say that all terrorists are Muslims is just very plainly contradictory to factual information, even amongst, you know, recent history. And we look back to the before 9/11, the greatest terrorist act of our century on American soil was extracted upon America by a non-Muslim, Timothy McVeigh in the Oklahoma City bombing. I don't remember him ever confessing that he was a Muslim, and this was one of the greatest terrorist acts on U.S. soil. And to say that 9/11 was a Muslim act It's just very contrary to the information. It was an act of aggression and an act of violence and an act of terrorism in reality. And this is against the very teachings of Islam. So we put the facts where they are out there, that the terrorism is not a monopoly of Islam. And even though we do have, and we have to put the information clearly, that there are a small percentage of the Muslim population who may have some extreme ideas and may have twisted Islam a little bit, or a great extent, to use violence to vent their frustrations and aggressions, but do it in a manner that is not according to the religion of Islam, then we have to be clear about that too, that they have stepped outside of the boundaries. But Islam does not hold that monopoly of terrorism and extremism. This is not a monopoly of Islam. This is something that has plagued every single major world religion throughout history.
Let's stop killing each other. I mean, this is clear. We know that it's wrong to go overseas and bomb innocent people in another land and kill them. And this guy's eating a falafel, and next thing you know, he's over there herding some sheep, and next thing you know, he goes back to his family. His whole village is killed. You know what I mean? Guy never even had a TV, doesn't even know what's going on in America. Didn't want to hurt nobody. He's just praying to the one guy. Next thing you know, his innocent child, was just born, and his baby girl, they're all dead. So, these emotions start to stir up, and people do things that aren't according to Islam. So let's stop killing, sending innocent people to kill other innocent people. This is wrong. But we also, like you said, we'll admit that there are some people with some extreme views, but the main thing is, I like what you said. This is what Islam says. Islam says, don't kill innocent women, children, old people. It's not justified.
Yes.
That's clear.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
There's no ambiguity.